let's get into the leftist knife of peace crusade. So you might remember the new face of the BLM movement because George Floyd is now no longer interesting to anyone. Apparently, he's just because they got found guilty. Derek Chauvin. Therefore, this doesn't matter. It's not justice, by the way, and we still have to fight. What for? No one really knows. So they decided to find a new martyr, and the new martyr is I don't know how you say her name properly, but Michaela Bryant, and this was the lady who was caught on tape with a knife trying to stab some girl, and the police shot her to death for trying to stab someone. So we can get this image.
I think it's Makia Bryant.
I don't know how to say it. I'm just going to say Michaela. But the image you can see here, so you can see knife in her right hand, about to stab this girl in the pink, and the officer shot her, as a hero would, saving someone's life. I mean, the girl in the pink didn't have an AR-15 or an AK or something, or a knife. She had a dog. As you can see on the bottom of the floor there, she dropped her dog. Poor doggo. Anyway, so the video footage was immediately released. This was obvious nonsense, and then you saw the leftist response of trying to say, nah, it's normal for kids to have knife fights. God knows in what world, but that defense didn't hold up, so they've decided to carry on trying to defend her. So I wanted to go through just for some of the new information that's come out regarding this, because, it's been a few days or whatever, so we can go through the facts of the matter that are known, and then we'll go through the response, because the response is well worth it. So first thing here, you kept hearing that the girl here, the one with the knife, was the one who called the cops for defense. That's not true, it seems. So, first thing here, I got these in the wrong order. So this is the first thing, which is that her sister, so Michaela lives in this house as a foster care, and her sister lives with her. And they say in here that her sister had called the cops weeks prior to this incident where she was shot because she was fighting with her sister and said she didn't want to be there anymore. So God knows what it's like to live with that lady. So it just presents evidence for the fact that she's been violent in the past, presumably to her own sister, to a degree that she called 911. So there's that.
Does she actually say that it was because she was being violent or just she was being threatening? I mean, there's lots of differing reasons.
It doesn't have the full details in this AP article. I don't know why, but that's what I have. So one of the weird things in this article as well is because no one wants to talk about the facts of the case, which is that she had a knife and was about to stab someone because that makes her look bad and makes BLM look bad. For some reason in this article, they go on to complain about racism in foster care, which I really... What? So they say, the treatment of black children by Ohio's foster care system is already under scrutiny. Last month, a review ordered by Republican Governor Mike DeWine found that it was infused with racial inequality. Among other findings, the children's services system sometimes failed to value black voices and experiences, and poorly equipped foster parents to raise multiracial families, sometimes resulting in the children in their care being exposed to racism. It's like, what? There needs to be special care. For white parents who want to adopt a child with brown skin, they need special training to be equipped to deal with multiracial families. I mean, pretty racist thing to say.
It sounds like they're almost saying the foster carers made me do it.
That is what they're arguing here, which is essentially that Michaela was a poor victim of the systemically racist foster care system, and that's what made her grab a knife and try to stab someone. I'm not joking, we'll get into it. So they continue, the system also left foster care youth unprepared for adulthood, and foster parents struggling to help them. The report found, in response, the state has launched a new approach to recruiting and retaining foster parents, and ordered caseworkers to take racial equity training. They need to take special training in order to be able to put black kids up for foster care.
Uh-oh, I know where this goes.
Anyway, so they say there's a quote in here from the administrator group, who's an advocacy group for the foster care system. The foster care system in Ohio failed Michaela on numerous levels. Failed her. Failed her, as she was shot by the police for trying to stab someone.
She didn't fail them. I mean,
it's
going out and trying to stab someone.
It's a system that's been struggling for a long time with our image of what a family is. No, I don't think a family includes people stabbing each other to death. So there's also a quote in here from the attorney for Michaela's family, I presume, trying to sue the state for money or something, God knows. So he says in here, the whole world has placed Michaela on trial based on one incident where they see her swinging a knife. That's because that's the incident that's up for review, mate. This is the incident why she's known. This is the incident why she's in trouble. And why she's dead, because she tried to stab someone and then was shot by the police. I don't know what to say, it's just really stupid. Then he continues, but why aren't we looking further and figuring out who were those girls? How did they get there? How did this develop so quickly? Fine, we'll take you up on that case. I'll take you up. Maybe there's more to this. Maybe I don't know, she was... I I don't know. What's the excuse? There is nothing. I mean, she
She was-
literally stabbed someone standing outside her house. I mean, what do you want? I mean, there was a dog she was holding. So let's go to the Washington Post article, in which assumably the Washington Post has sent someone to the scene to interview everyone to get the full story. So they established that she was in foster care, and the story is that the group of other black teenagers that are there were apparently some group of kids who used to live at the foster care house, then come back, and they were talking to Michaela and her sister, and an argument broke out, apparently because of the state of the house, which, I don't know, weird thing to argue about, but whatever. So they talk with the grandmother of Michaela, and the grandmother is the one who confirms that Michaela called her, the grandmother, for help, and then sent her sister, and the sister called 911. So there's this myth that's being shown in left-wing media that Michaela called the police and then the police turned up and shoot her. That's not the case. Apparently his younger sister who called the cops. She called the cops at 4:32 p.m. And this is confirmed by the grandmother. The reason the left has been perpetuating the idea that she had called the cops, Michaela, is apparently because her mother has said this. I don't know. I mean, may have just been a mess-up. She may have just not known, and, other sister...
Yeah, I imagine, in a case like this, even if there wasn't the national press, you're not really going to get a straight story from a mother whose kid has been shot.
Yeah. So they say in here, so in the phone call, so when the sister calls up, we played it before, but I'll just say the quotes again. She calls up the police and says to the police, "We've got these grown girls over here trying to fight us, trying to stab us, trying to put their hands on our grandma. Get here now." So she's saying that the group of black teens who turned up were trying to stab them living in the foster care home. The only thing that I don't get about this is there seems to be no evidence that any of the black teens who approached the house had knives. Like, she had a dog, the one who was about to get stabbed.
Yeah, the one against the car, right? I haven't followed this too closely, but it seems like she was just there with her dog in her arms.
Yeah,
and then drops it, and then
there's like a knife underneath the dog, like a secret pouch or something, I don't know. But none of the other teens seem to have any knives on them, so God knows what she's talking about. I just can't say anything because I don't know. That's so dumb. But none of this looks better for her. That's the thing. Like, none of these new, pieces of evidence that they had approached the house makes her look better. I mean, she still was about to stab a girl to death, and the cop shot her for that, which is the right thing to do. And that cop is a hero for saving the other girl's life. I mean, it's not her fault. Even if she got into an argument with Michaela, that doesn't get the death penalty. It's not how that works. So there's that. But also, if you take it that it's most charitable, doesn't help her. If you take it it's least charitable, doesn't help her. So let's go to the clip number 3. So this is another video angle that's been released. So if we get clip 3 up, and we'll just play this so people can see the full footage again from another angle. Please turn up. And then he shoots her 4 times. So you can see she pushes over one girl. I don't know if she stabbed her or not. It doesn't seem so. And then she goes to the other girl, and you can see her arm out with a knife, about to stab the girl in the pink, and the cop shoots her for trying to commit murder. There is nothing more to be said here. The guy is a goddamn hero. So,
cut and dry. I mean, the fact that they're complaining about this at all is ridiculous. Like, this is someone just trying to murder someone in cold blood.
But no, the
unprovoked almost.
foster care system did this to her.
Those evil foster carers, they're just out to cause more murders, aren't they?
That's foster care workers. So we're going to go to the some tweets from a associated professor, because the professors are all going to chime in on what their views are on the whole thing. So there's an associated professor of women's and gender studies and Africana studies, of course she is, specializing in intersectionality, African American culture, and hip-hop feminism. Right, now I know that one's made up. That's not true, whatever.
Hip-hop feminism.
I'm not even going to Google it. No way are you so stupid to write something like that. So, maybe she is. So let's go to her here. This is her with verified checkmark, because of course it is, the internal symbol of having retardation. So she says, "I am still thinking about Michaela Bryant, still feeling betrayed by black people, men and women, who continue to justify the cop shooting her. Despite the extended video saying that he had time, despite a range of teachers and social workers who de-escalate fights daily, I am sad and angry." What do you mean? Like, black people saying that this was justified. Everyone's saying this is justified. It's just you clowns who think this isn't justified, and just want the girl in the pink to be murdered, presumably. And then there's the fact that she points out that, the extended video had been released. It doesn't make her look any better. There are teachers and social workers who de-escalate fights. I mean, with girls with knives who are about to kill other girls with knives.
Yeah, in that situation as well, there was nothing other than what the police officer did to stop her from stabbing that other girl. There's no way they could have stopped her other than shooting her. A taser wouldn't have worked because it could have malfunctioned. It was kind of a reasonable distance, so there's no real other way.
There's also the time constraints. I mean,
exactly,
she's about to execute deadly force on a civilian. What are you going to do? Well, you've got to stop her doing it. Well, you've got a gun. That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
So you use the gun. So she continues. So we can go to the next one. This is just gets more and more stupid as it goes on. So no, if you can go to all right, just scroll down to the next tweet here. So we can rely on the testimony of black girls like Darnella Fraser and Rachel Genital. I have no idea what she's referring to there. To call our democracy to account, and then turn around and justify black girls being shot down in the street like dogs. It's like, right, so there's some people I've never heard of who are used by the left to call our democracy to account, but then she's upset that we turn around and justify that black girls are being shot down in the street like dogs. Well, yeah, if they're in the middle of killing someone, they should be shot in the street like dogs. I mean, what do you think should happen to attempted murderers in the act of murdering as well? It's not like she's just murdered someone and then was walking to the shops or something, and the cop just pulled out the gun and just executed her. Like, no, she was in the process of murdering someone and she got shot for it. So if we get the next one as well. So they're in a world where the cops keep on killing black people for no reason at all. They're just walking around the streets with shotguns, shooting black people. Be careful out there. If you ever see a cop and you're black, I mean, he's literally just the programming immediately comes in and he'll cap you.
Murder is no reason at all, apparently.
No reason at all. Absolutely none. It shouldn't be a broad cultural debate that the black girl is the one who deserves the benefit of the doubt. Black boys get black people's benefit of the doubt. Black girls do not. This must change. I don't know what on earth she's trying to argue that the black girls, when they're trying to murder someone, don't get the benefit of the doubt, but black boys do. I mean, weird condemnation of other Black Lives Matter martyrs, but okay. So, and then there's the last thing here. Oh, and this isn't a debate. You say anything even remotely justifying this killing, and I'm blocking you. Yeah, of course you are. Wonderful. I mean, great professor there. I mean, no debate. I mean, literally, if you just point out that she had a knife and she was about to kill someone, blocked. Not gonna.
What's the point of her even tweeting?
Don't even. I mean, this is what I mean.
Preaching to the converted.
Any dissent? Nah, can't have it. It's pathetic. So she's not the only one, of course. So there's also another chap here. I just looked up Michaela Bryant's name this morning and looked up some of the highest tweets. So we go to the next one, which is someone saying, "I'm sorry, but I'm not letting this go." The fact that people, especially black people, believe the police officer shot Michaela Bryant to save the other black girl is wild. Wild. I mean, it's not like the video evidence demonstrates that he was saving the other black girl, but I guess the black people who don't believe your racist nonsense are just taken over by the white supremacy. He shot Michaela to kill her. Yes, he didn't give an F about the other black person. What? Like, do you think he shot her because she was about to, vandalize the car? Like, what are you talking about? Like, she had a knife, she was going towards the girl, and a car behind her. You're like, nah, he doesn't care about the black girl. He cares that, I don't know, she's going to put the knife into the window and break some glass, and he's like, no, the holy glass, and then shoots her. Of course not. I mean, moron.
I'm sure the last thing a police officer would want to do as well is shoot a black person, seeing what happens to them afterwards. Like, there's no incentive there anymore, or ever really.
I mean, even if they're in the process of murdering someone, you're right. I mean, it's not easy to take that and not realize that there's political charges are going to be thrown against you.
The fact that this is even a debate kind of will surely make people hesitate, and it's not going to help in the long run.
Helps nobody. I mean, it helps murderers. I mean, that's true. I mean, they take the cop out of the situation. You have a dead black girl. Good job, progressives. So, I mean, you might just think, okay, these are the idiots and the professors of the world. Professors, Jesus Christ. On Twitter and whatnot, but it's not just them. Left-wing media has also piped back up in their full-on defense of murdering black girls because, oh boy, I'm a progressive, I guess. So if we can go to the Vox article, and this was amazing. At least this, I did see that this got ratioed whenever they posted it anywhere, but this is just great. Why they're not saying Michaela Bryant's name? The 16-year-old black girl could never be the perfect victim.
What? The
perfect victim. She's the victim, don't you know? The attempted murderer. Poor victim.
As well.
I can't get over the framing. It's like, yes, I'm going to murder this girl. Please remember me for being a victim. Like, what are you talking about?
Also, there is a standard of perfect victim as well. Like, there's some kind of ideal victim that you've got to aspire to be.
But, I mean, Rosa Parks would be the perfect victim. She's a victim of an unjust law. She's well-dressed. She was polite, proper person, all the rest of it. That could be a perfect victim.
Like a virtuous victim.
Attempted murderer. In the process of murdering.
That's certainly not a perfect victim, they are right.
Far from perfect. Anyway, so I'm going to blast through some of these quotes. So this article is fantastic because you can see the absolute descent into madness. So after watching 15 seconds of police body camera footage last week, viewers of various races and political affiliations had made a decision. The 16-year-old Michaela Bryant was the aggressor, the, quote, fat, huge, knife-wielding attacker. Steady on, Fox. I mean, I was just calling her attempted murderer, she is, but you're like, nah, she's fat and huge and a knife-wielding attacker. Okay? Who deserved to be fatally shot by the police, because she did. She was in the process of trying to kill someone, and the cop is a hero for saving that girl's life. I mean, cut and dry. They continue. According to these viewers, Nicholas Riardson, the police officer who immediately shot and killed Bryant, who was holding a knife, was justified. Because they're right. They're right. He saved a girl's life by killing the murderer. It continues. That she was a teenager in the middle of an altercation in which she was presumed to be defending herself did not matter. Defending herself from the pink girl with a dog. Pink girl's got a dog. She's got a knife.
That tiny little lap dog. It's very scary, didn't you know?
Who's the aggressor here? Must be the girl with the dog. I mean,
She's
those
got
dogs.
a dog.
Get out! So stupid. Anyway, it continues. The cries for justice that apply to George Floyd did not ring out as loudly for Bryant.
I wonder why.
Even after it was discovered that Bryant was living in foster care, as if that has anything to do with the matter, that she was in the middle of a fight with an older woman when the police arrived, as if that has anything to do with the matter, and that she was allegedly the one who summoned the police for help, not true. Some people who called out for justice in the George Floyd case used police talking points to justify the 4 bullets that Riardson unloaded into Bryant's chest.
Aren't Vox trying to justify a murder here? So
yes.
Justifying the 4 bullets in targeting a murder. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's a bit rich coming from them.
Isn't it perfect though? Like it's a lot of people have been making the point that it's Black Lives Matter don't care about black lives, and it's been sort of difficult to get that message across. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. A black girl was about to be murdered, and they're like, screw her. I care about black corpses, not black lives. Why are people not celebrating this attempted murderer? Pathetic.
It's because it was a police officer, obviously, and that makes everything different because it fits their agenda at the minute.
Yeah, but if Michaela had gone on to kill that girl, and let's just say kill all the rest of the girls, Fox would have no problem with that.
We probably wouldn't have even heard about it.
No, Fox would have no interest. She could murder as many black people or as many black girls as she likes. No one cares. No one cares on the left. What they care about is when someone is shot by the police and they're black, regardless of what they did. I mean, they could be murdering. I bet. I'm going to call it now. In a year or two, there'll be someone in the act of trying to rape a woman, and the cops will shoot the rapist, and they'll be like, "Black Lives Matter, man." I bet I'm calling it now. Anyway, so they continue. She was brandishing a knife. Many pointed out, which meant that the other black woman needed to be protected. Yep. That's how that works. That's how that works. Vox Rider. Continues. The crisis response experts noted, however, that de-escalation tactics like commanding Bryant to drop the weapon, which he did, and she refused to comply, physically getting between the women, why would he? Why would he lunge in front and be stabbed himself? Why not just kill the attacker? Or simply communicating with her, he did, told her multiple times, get down, drop it, and she didn't, and then he shot her. Could have kept everyone alive. Just nonsense. Just not thinking. I mean, the kind of people who sit back in their armchairs are like, yes, she could have fixed the whole thing and done nothing. And it's like, no. I mean, get some reality. It's
quite impressive that they did that in the space of a split second as well. Like the amount of
the cop himself, the reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, absolute hero, and you can see that the level of training there. I mean, perfect shots, saved one girl from the killer, and he did it extremely fast, as you say.
This is like the perfect example of going the opposite way to defunding the police and give them more training, because they handled that great. And if you train them more, there's a greater chance that this kind of conduct is going to be more common.
More cops like this guy, please. So they continued, in many recorded encounters between police and white people carrying weapons, for instance, of course we have to go into the race category, officers didn't shoot first or even reach for their guns. They successfully managed to peaceably apprehend the suspect. They don't give you specifics of how that would happen, because of course if they gave you the specific cases would be completely different. It would not be a white attacker within the space of 2 seconds about to stab some white person to death. It would be completely different, and they know it. Anyway, so they continue. Bryant's death has become a debate that questions a child's actions and worthiness to live instead of another example of racism in policing. The case has become an instance in which we question her actions rather than just blindly saying this is racist policing. That's the complaint from Vox. The complaint is that we were like, hey, this lady who brought a knife and tried to kill someone, let's question her actions. That's the thing that's wrong with it.
I don't know how these people can actually write this, because if they've actually seen the video, how can you say that, that police officer was being racist?
This is what progressivism does to your brain. I mean, that's all I can say. Like, it
Destroys
doesn't matter.
it.
I mean, the individual circumstances literally don't matter because the social justice of the thing in which a white man shot a brown woman, that's all that matters. No matter if he was saving another brown woman's life. Doesn't matter. It's pathetic. Anyway, I'm going to skip over just a little bit here in which she quotes some other professor who is really upset that Bryant isn't seen as a victim of the police hero who saved a woman's life. And then they take a quote from the sensible people being the interim Columbus police chief, Michael Woods, who called the shooting a terrible tragedy for all those involved, but said that the department policy states that any officer can use deadly force against someone when they appear to be inflicting harm upon another person, which she was, so he used deadly force and saved someone's life. He explained that the officers did not use a taser because there was an immediate threat of death. Absolutely. I mean, just look at it. But one of the things I love is just the argument racism made her stab her. Oh no, she's the victim in this whole situation. I love it. Go for it. Push this narrative, you absolute lunatics.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.